Welcome back, sixth graders, to lesson 95. Hope you did well on your pre-test yesterday. Final test will be on Friday. And so, like I said, if you have questions or anything on that line, please let me know. So let's look at lesson 95. It will not take real long because we've already introduced this a little bit. And the title of it is Writing Decimals as a Percent. So basically, and this was in the problems earlier, because like I said, when we did the introduction, so we have to change a 0.4 to a percent, we multiply 0.4 by 100%, which is true. If I have over here 0.4 times 100%, that's going to equal out 40%. Okay? But the reality, what may be simpler for you, in other words, when we do that math, what we're going to do is, if you remember, I said you have to have 2 zeros or 2 decimal places for a percent. So 0.4 is the same as 0.40, which equals 40%, because I have to have 2 decimal places for a percent. But we'll keep going through the whole thing, but this is the only tricky one that can fool you, because a lot of people will say this is 4%. No, 4% is written out as 0.04, which means 4%. So this is not 4%. 0.4 refers to, I got to have my other zero at the end of it, which gives me 40%. So again, that's kind of the thing, and that was some of the confusion we had earlier with that. But let's go ahead and walk through the rest of it. Okay. Let's slide down to the next portion down here. It says, write 0.12 as a percent. Well, same thing. We can go 12 times 100%, which when we do the math, when we write out the math, you're going to get 12%. Or a short way is, I have 0.12 here. So 0.12 times 100% equals 12%. The bottom line is, if I know I have 2 decimal places, every percent has only 2 decimal places. So that means 0.12 times 100, or 0.12 is going to equal, I move my decimal 1, 2, and I have my answer of 12%. So again, 12%, the decimal movement is typically what's easier to do, but you're free to do it either way. Okay? So, because if you notice, it says changing a decimal to a percent, always shift the decimal point 2 places to the right. That's basically what I'm doing with you. They're having you do it with a math-wise speaking, because you have 2 zeros. It actually follows the same rule that we were saying earlier. Multiply, move right. So we multiply, move right, 1, 2, and add the percent sign, 12%. So it's doing the same thing, but it's just, they add a little confusion to the matter there a little bit. All right, let me slide over and go to the example. This is another one that can give a little grief, and is when we multiply, when we have the problem, and I'm going to just write it up, 0.125. So when I write out 0.125, again, I have to have, for that, I have to have 2 decimal places from this point for a percent. So that means I'm going to move it over 2 places. 1, 2, put my decimal in, so I have 12.5, bring my percent sign in, percent, which is what they get. And if I got out a calculator, it'd show me that the same thing. 0.125 times 100% equals 12.5%. So, like I said, and it also can be written, a second way is 12.5%. Those are 2 ways that it can be written. So again, change that by percent by multiplying by 100 or moving the decimal. So this one, take a look at it. If I say, what is a percent of this? If you said 5%, you're wrong. If you say 50%, you are correct. 0.06. If you say 60%, you're wrong. This is 6%. If you say C, 30.375, the answer is just like we did up here, 37.5% or 37.5%. Either one would be correct. Okay, this one, 0.45, 2 decimal places, 1, 2, 45%. 1.2. All right, so that means we have to, if you say, this can be a tricky one, but again, I want how many decimal places to the right always? 2. So I got to put my 0 in. So this is going to be 120%, because I move it over twice. Okay? 0.025. Tricky one here. I know I have 0, 2, 1, 2 for my percent, 2. A leftover 5, so that means I have 2.5% or 2.5%. I would really look at that one, see if you understand how I did that. Again, I'm following the same pattern. Multiplying by 100, or I'm just counting my decimal places to the right of the 0. And getting my percent. 0.09, 2 decimal places, 9%. Same thing as up here. We had a point, we added in a 0, 125%. And then last but not least, here it is, another through, similar to this one up here. Move in 2, 1, 2, so I have 62.5%, or 62.5%. Either one is acceptable. So again, if those are confused how I got those answers, you should be chatting me. You should be saying, Mr. White, I don't see how you did the practice problem. But it is a key to knowing that. The multiplying, you can definitely multiply it out and still get the correct answer as well. But I'm showing that because that's a little more convenient, easier way to solve it. All right, well, that should do it. And so if you have questions, please feel free to call. Have a good day.